Hello everyone and welcome to Rob's Rogues. Is it cold in here or is it just me? That's right everyone, it is the first, I would say the first villain from the new 52 if you exclude Darkseid and the Parademons, but the first part of any other hero's Rogues gallery, and that is of course Captain Cold, the new 52. And some people don't like his redesign. There's always going to be detractors that somebody says, oh, he looks like one of the Solid Gold Dancers, if you remember who the Solid Gold Dancers are. I think this is a nice reimagining. I was never a fan of Captain Cold and his... I liked the character, but seeing him in that big winter parka, and, you know, I get it. And somebody said, well, he has no sleeves, he's wearing a vest, and he freezes. Well, maybe he's hot and he puts out cold. Anyway, as much as I say that I'm a huge Robin and Batman fan, that's generally what I'm collecting. I've been finding myself getting more of the new 52 figures after having received the Justice League 7-pack, and I've been telling myself, you know what, it'll be nice to have some villains here or there stand alongside or kind of pose them around the heroes of the new 52. So I'm very excited. I've toyed with the idea of getting Captain Cold in Mattel form and kind of talked myself out of it a couple times and found him on clearance. And I just said, I don't think I'm gonna. I kind of wish I would have from the Mattel side so I could have had a classic version, but I'm very happy to have this. And we haven't spent a whole lot of time on the boxes of some of the figures because the boxes generally look the same, but as you can tell, the color scheme and everything on the box is completely different this time to denote the super villains that you see there. We'll get a better look at it here in just a second, but we'll show the Martian Manhunter box here. As you can see, the little fold back piece. Now originally I thought this was ice crystals here, something like that. I think with being a villain it's supposed to denote that it's been tore or ripped, so I really like that. And I like the black of the box. It almost kind of looks bluish here on camera, but it is definitely black in person. James Shoop did the sculpting of this figure, and I really like it. It says up here at the top, if you can maybe kind of see that, it includes ice, mace, and dagger, so he has 2 accessories. Very cool. Very cool. You get that? Okay, anyway. On the back, it shows the Flash here with Captain Cold. So this is kind of what I've been wanting to do, is something like this. But here's the cool thing. Black Manta is coming out, and the Joker. How cool is that Joker? I cannot wait to get the Joker. I think that's an October figure, and I think Black Manta is September, if I remember correctly. We'll raise the camera here just a little bit. Bear with me. And we can kind of see the bio of Captain Cold. I know I've kind of cut off his head, so don't get all upset and get your panties in a bunch. But Captain Cold of the Flash's Rogues Gallery is perfectly captured in this action figure based on the all-new design for DC Comics, the new 52s. I'm trying to read that there. But there is the shot of Captain Cold in figure form, and then as traditional, the silhouette. And it's really kind of cool to see the silhouettes of these. Of course, this is not a Jim Lee silhouette. It's just the artist of the person that did it. And there's the top. You have DC supervillains, and then you had the Justice League top of the heroes boxes. So I wondered if it was going to say Justice League, but since we're coming up to September villain month, I think that's really kind of cool that they did the villains in a different, darker, and black and blue scheme. So I think that's really kind of cool and refreshing that they're mixing it up, and even though the artwork is changing. So I would assume Black Manta's might be, it's kind of hard to tell what his color is going to be. I guess that maybe it could be the red. Maybe it'll be the red because of his eyes, but the Joker I would definitely think would be purple or green, or white. I'm really excited to hopefully get this, not hopefully, I know I've already got it pre-ordered, to get this Joker. You can see his vest says Joe, and Black Manta looks equally as cool. So very, very cool. I am ready to get this guy out of package. Just drop the camera down here. There we go. I'm going to tear into this box, and we will get Captain Cold, the first villain again, aside from Darkseid, to come out for the new 52. We will be right back. All right, Captain Cold is out of package, and real quick, we will look at the package. Not that somebody may ask, in the Justice League, you would see a silhouette of all the Justice League heroes. There is nothing like that there. It's just this blue background. I guess you could use it as a diorama-ish type thing, just to have a blue background for Captain Cold to be in. But nothing too spectacular. I thought I would just show that for what it is. But now here is the figure. I am very, very impressed with this figure. Coming off of the Martian Manhunter figure, I did have some paint issues, and I was kind of a little down on the figure that he had a little bit of a bent foot, which I have since fixed. And just some little minor paint things here or there, but DC Collectibles has knocked this one out of the park. I definitely like this figure a lot. Of course, the alter ego for Captain Cold in the new 52 and previous is Leonard Snart, S-N-A-R-T, if I am saying that right. And a little read-up from Wikipedia says, in this timeline, the new 52, Captain Cold is reintroduced as a younger man than in the previous timeline, which, you know, I kind of like that. His origin remains the same, however. His sister, Lisa, has not been the Golden Glider, and instead of dying of cancer upon learning that the hospital does not have enough energy to power a laser that can save her, because of an EMP signal strength caused by the Flash, Cold blames him for everything that has happened. That's happened to him, including the falling out of the Rogues. So there's a little bit of a bio of Captain Cold, and I've got to say I'm not as into the Flash Rogues Gallery and the Flash in the new 52 Ring the Comics. Not to say that I don't like them. The Flash, he's always been a cool, I'm going to keep using that word. He's always been a character that I've liked, and I've always kind of thought, oh, that's kind of neat. You know, Captain Cold, you know, Flash has got somebody of a frozen villain or a cold villain to kind of slow down, you know, the running, and he can kind of use some metahuman type genes to generate cold, and some people may not like that in the new 52, but it's new. If everything stays the same, then nothing is ever going to be new and change, so yada yada yada. Let's get a closer look at the figure, Rob, and stop talking. But I like the face sculpt a lot. Some people don't like the, you know, hood, but he was wearing like a parka hood type thing. So, you know, I think we're splitting hairs here on some of the thing. I like this new design. I think it's new, fresh, still has some characteristics of the old, and, you know, it's cool. It's the new 52. I'm on board. So, and I do like, you know, the little icy veins coming down where he's generating... kind of moving the elbow right there. Some ice crystals. So since I'm kind of already turning some of the articulation, let's just get into that right now. So DC Collectibles is kind of changing up their articulation, some of their figures. Now this is one of the first that his head is not on a ball joint, like I've got the Flash off to the side. But Captain Cold can only look left and right, so you're not getting any extra articulation to pivot and move, you know, in different directions. I'm okay with that. If you're doing some ACBA type stuff, you're probably going to complain that you can't get him in some poses. But for me, he sits on my shelf and I move arms just a little bit here or there, and he's going to look really cool. I'm not trying to use the word cool all the time. It's just happening. Let me move a little bit of a light source here. So we're going to go to the arms. The arms are a little stiff. The arms go forwards and back. So I have it off camera. So arms go in and out. A little bit of a ball and a socket there. So if I had it off camera. Kind of goes all the way around. This corner of the jacket does kind of get in the way a little bit of the bicep, but not too much. Has a bicep swivel. Speak, Rob. He does have a bend at the arm, a bend at the elbow. It kind of it's not making a ratchet sound, but there's definite stopping points. There's one, there's two. So he's got one position, two positions, and then three that you can get the arm in. And then he turns at the glove or at the ice part of the hand, which is kind of cool, and it'll work out the reason why they did that in just a second. The other arm does not have that, so it's just the bicep swivel and then the bend at the elbow. But again, this hand does. No waist articulation turn or anything like that. And I like that out of the DC Collectibles figures, because unlike the Mattel figures are cool, you can get them in cool articulation, but you got all these cut lines of where everything bends and turns, and it really messes up some of the figures in the articulation. You're like, yeah, but you can't get your figures bent over or arch their back, or you put them in poses. I'm okay with that. I want these to look good because it's the collectible side. You know, that's just me. That might not be your cup of tea, but hey, to each their own. The legs do go forward and back, very far back, so good range of motion in his legs, and he has a bend at the knee and no boot or foot articulation. And again, me personally, I'm fine with that. Somebody else may be kind of complaining, sorry, but I'm cool with that. So his arms do appear to be sticking out a little bit, almost as kind of like, hey, what's up? Yeah, that's right, I ride a bike. So I kind of wish his arms could come down a little bit more, but that's as far as the arms go down. You can kind of see, if I get it in camera there, how the arm is attached there. So again, hey, what up? So yeah, the arms don't go down. That's a little bit of a bummer there, but that's fine. He does come with two accessories, and I left one in the package still. We'll put him right here real quick. So it comes with the ice pick or the ice sickle. I'm trying to look at the side of the box and see what they're referring to it as. It is the ice dagger. Of course, it looks like a dagger. And he holds this really well, actually. So I can get it in his hand. Really cool. You can get a little bit of a Sharon Stone stabbing pose there. So really kind of neat. I like that. And then the other accessory is the mace. So this is really kind of cool. Now there's a little peg hole in here. Now this is the first that I've had him on camera, so I'm assuming this is like Cyborg. We'll see a little peg in there. So I'm going to pause the camera real quick and see if that hand comes off. Or I'm going to break the figure and be very disappointed, because you're not going to get it inside of there at all. So let me pause this really quick so there's no swearing on camera. Okay, that literally took 2 seconds. It took more time to shut the camera off. It just pops right off. Very easy. Very easy to do. A lot easier than Cyborg to do. So this will just... Now watch, this is the part I should have paused the camera for. Great, Rob. Talks amongst yourselves. Rhode Island is neither a road nor an island. Discuss. Come on. Okay, you know what? Because that really hurts trying to put that in with all the spikes. I am going to pause this really quick. 1 second, guys. Alright, that was a little bit of a pain to try and put in. I was really trying to squeeze, and I felt like I was going to mess his elbow up there, so I was really having to kind of make sure that I was pushing up here from the top of his shoulder, but while still keeping the elbow, so the elbow was wanting to move back and forth. So, yeah, it comes right off. So I don't think I have this in its socket very well at all. There it goes. So you just got to work with it just a little bit to get it to go in. He stands with it pretty good. So I haven't, of course, the fulcrum, there's a big word for that, it pops right off. So again, this is probably something you're probably going to have to play with a little bit there. That's the first time I've heard it pop. There we go. I wasn't hearing the popping noise that when something is set in. So I was talking about fulcrum and lever and all that stuff. It's kind of getting positioned just right so he doesn't come toppling over. but you can get his knees bent. Like I said, he's pretty much standing straight up with his arm out, and my table should be pretty flat here, so he's not going to fall over too much. Let's bring up the Flash. So there's the Flash, a little bit of weight displacement there to try and get the pose just right. So this is going to be really cool to have the Flash and Captain Cold maybe fighting outside of my Hall of Justice setup that I have, using the Young Justice Collect and Connect Hall of Justice as my backdrop for my Justice League New 52 figures. And now I can start putting some of the villains in different places around there to give a really good scene. So I'm really happy with this figure. I like, again, there's always those detractors that aren't going to like anything new, and they want their vanilla, and they want it to stay vanilla and don't change. So yeah, they weren't... Of course, a Flash just broke off. Let me pause the camera really quick. There we go. I just didn't have them balanced quite right, and I knew if I shook and stomped around, moved my feet too much, I was going to knock them over. So I'd probably use a little bit of a display stand for the Flash's foot and stuff like that. But you should kind of see I was able to balance them pretty good. And yeah, somebody could say, well, if they had more articulation... again, that's fine. To each their own. I'm really happy with this figure. The only little bit of a draw is getting this to stay in. I'm glad I don't have to work on it so much to get it in and out. It pops off very easy, that you've seen it on film enough times. So unlike Cyborg, you really have to push and twist and turn to even get it off and on. But I'm able to have his arm almost completely straight down, and I don't have to worry about it falling off. It's just when you're moving it with your hand, it kind of wants to pop off. But I guess I'm okay with that it's not so hard to pull off that I'm afraid I'm going to break the figure. So I'm really happy with this. DC Collectibles, I think, is really knocking these figures out of the park. So far, out of all the ones that I've had, that... Martian Manhunter was probably the weakest out of the bunch so far, but again, I still think he is a very good figure, and on the shelf he looks great. Being that Captain Cold is the only real villain that I have other than Darkseid, he's going to get beat up quite a bit until more of the rogues get here. Speaking of Darkseid, let's go into a segment that I started doing with Martian Manhunter. And again, tipping the hat to Chapman Films. He does something he calls, this is a segment he calls Looking Out the Window. But for me, this is a little segment I call Darkseid saying, here, let me lend you a hand. Again, here we are for one last final shot of Captain Cold from the New 52 DC Collectibles action figure. Very, very cool. I can't help but do it. I highly recommend this. If you're a Flash fan, you're probably definitely going to want this, and just to be able to kind of have a rogues type of a gallery, just for the Justice League in general, to be able to pose around, is going to be really neat to see the villains as they start coming out. We're getting closer and closer to Villain Month and Forever Evil in DC Comics, so I would imagine that Captain Cold is going to play a part in what is going on in the Forever Evil storyline. So really cool. Two nice accessories. Be careful. The mace is a little sharp. Did kind of prick my finger just a little bit from just trying to push on it so hard. So just be careful where you grab the spikes at. So I definitely recommend this figure. Go pick it up if you are so inclined to do so. So as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues signing off, saying we will see you guys next time.